Hey everybody, welcome to my QuickBooks tutorials. My name is Zach Pasquarello and I am a certified QuickBooks online pro advisor and I'm a bookkeeper. I own my own business, Harrisburg Bookkeeping, located here in South Central Pennsylvania. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Today I wanted to talk about how to receive payment, pay bills, match transactions from your bank feed, and how to do journal entries. So they are all four really important QuickBooks processes, pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and I wanted to do it all in one video. That way it would be easy for you all to reference. So in my previous videos, I've talked about creating an invoice and a sales receipt. So a sales receipt is whenever you receive payment the same day. An invoice is whenever you sell your products or you perform your services and then you give an invoice to your customer. So your customer is, you're asking your customer to pay you in the future, whether it be 10 days, 30 days, 90 days, whatever your payment plan is. An invoice is asking your customer to pay in the future. So let's say you gave an invoice to your customer last month and they just mailed you a check. So you just received a check for the payment for the invoice. So you go into QuickBooks and you can do this before you even deposit the check into your account. So you receive the payment, whatever customer paid you, you can search by invoice. I'm not sure what invoices, this is just the sample company, so I'm not sure what invoices they have. Search by the invoice number. So whatever date is written on the check that you received, that'll be the date, that'll be the payment date. So your customer wrote you a check for April 20th, so the payment date, April 20th. Payment method would be check. And here you're going to deposit the check into your checking account. Amount received, $100. And that'll automatically populate whenever you match this payment received to an invoice. So you create the invoice in your QuickBooks account, and then 30 days later, your customer gives you a check, and then you receive payment and you just match this check to the invoice, and then the invoice is automatically paid. So pretty straightforward. That's how you receive payment, and you're basically telling QuickBooks virtually that you've received payments. This is not depositing checks into your checking account. You're not physically moving any money. You're just virtually telling QuickBooks, hey, I received this payment, so this invoice is no longer open. The invoice is paid. Now, similarly, for your vendors, if you want to pay a bill, you go in here, hit pay bills, all of your outstanding bills will pop up. So if you pay the whole bill in full, you can just hit this check mark and it'll automatically pay the bill in full. Or if you're just paying a portion of the bill, let's say $200 of this $315 bill was paid. So here you're paying with MasterCard. You can say maybe you're writing checks, maybe you're paying with your Visa, maybe you're paying with your MasterCard. However you're paying your bills, this will report the account that it comes out of in QuickBooks. So if you say MasterCard, QuickBooks will decrease your MasterCard account by whatever the total is here. Whatever date you pay your bills, so if you're writing checks, whatever day you write on the check, that'll be the payment date. And then once you have the appropriate bills paid, you can go ahead and just save and close. So once again, this is not physically paying your bills. This is virtually paying your bills in QuickBooks. So it will decrease the amount of money in your checking account only on QuickBooks. It will not actually take money out of your checking account. So you will still need to physically write the checks. So once you have all of that done, once you've received payment, another thing you can do is you can match these transactions in your bank feed. You can match them to transactions that you manually report and record into your QuickBooks account. So I've talked a lot about this plus new button up here in the top left corner. So you can do all this stuff: expenses, pay bills, create bills, invoices. And then here, your bank feed, which I talked about in a previous video, you can simply match a transaction. So you can see here, March 25th, one record found. So we click here, we found a match. So this check, number 75, was manually entered into QuickBooks. And then the check is physically withdrawn from the checking account, the actual checking account. And it's reported here, and QuickBooks is able to match it. So they know the date, the amount is the exact same, so $228.75, $228.75. Make sure those line up. You can find a match, and then you match it. And so this will automatically clear the check, and it'll automatically report this on your chart of accounts. So as soon as you match it, that transaction is categorized as a payment. So one good thing with the bank feed and the transactions, it's a good way to make sure that you are reporting all of your transactions accurately. So you can go here and manually enter all this information, and then whenever it shows up on your bank feed, you can simply match it. You can match it. That way, you're kind of creating checks and balances for yourself. So it might be a little bit of extra manual entry for you in the beginning, but in the long run, hopefully it'll help you stay organized. It'll help your bank account stay reconciled and stay accurate. So you can create transactions up here, and then as they populate into your bank feed, you can just match them. And then lastly, we have here, this would be a good example. So if we wanted to create a journal entry for this transaction, this is money received. So this is $200 received from Books by Bessie. So if you wanted to create a journal entry, instead of using one of these tabs, you can just hit journal entry. And here, this is where a little bit of accounting knowledge and background might help. So here's you have your debits and you have your credits. So for a checking account, that was money received. So we would debit the checking account by $200. And then we would credit the corresponding account for the same amount. So your debits and credits always need to match, always need to be equal. So I think that Books by Bessie, let's just say it was sales, income, landscaping services. So it automatically matches there $200. So we increased the checking account by $200, and we increased our revenue by $200. So credit to the landscaping services account and debit to the checking account, $200. We can say here whatever the description is. We can associate it with whatever customer in the name category here. So that's a journal entry. Pretty straightforward. You need to have somewhat of a good understanding of debits and credits to use a journal entry. You might not ever really need to do journal entries because QuickBooks makes it pretty user-friendly to report transactions without having to do a journal entry. But if you ever need to, it's nice to know how to do that journal entry. And then you can see here April 20th, a rental, QuickBooks automatically matched it to the journal entry that I just created. So $200 here, April 20th, journal entry number 1. All we have to do is then match that transaction to the journal entry. So in review, went over receiving payment for invoices and then paying bills and then matching transactions from the bank feed and then also creating journal entries. So all 4 fairly simple, fairly intuitive things. It gets easier the more you do it and the more you know about your business and where you're spending your money and where you're earning your money. It makes it easier for you to categorize appropriately. So I hope that helps explain a few things. If you have any other questions, feel free to send me an email, give me a call. I'd be happy to help any way I can. And if there's any other tutorials, any other questions that you want me to make a video on, let me know. I'd be more than happy to make a specific QuickBooks tutorial. So as always, my name is Zach Pasquarello, and I own Harrisburg Bookkeeping, South Central Pennsylvania, and I'm a certified QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. So if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching the video, and I look forward to talking to you guys again.